Hello. Gonna wait for a few more folks to pop on in. Hello. Oh, okay. Come on through. It's such a gorgeous day. Hello, everyone. My name is Drew Brown, and I am the PR and social media manager for Playout. And I wish we were meeting on better terms, but we're here, and we wanted to have a discussion about everything that's been going on. And I'm very pleased to be joined by Brendan Morris today, who is an artist. He's modeled for Playout, and also has been doing videos and expressing his thoughts on what's happening, and also his experiences with discrimination as well. So, Brendan, I hope you're ready to pop on in. And I have to figure out how to make sure I'm able to work this thing correctly. There you are. Hello, how are you?
Today's a day. It's good. It's rainy all day today in Florida, so
Gotcha. It's like 84 degrees here in New York, so it's beautiful. So I
that's
decided to get out and actually get some air and some sunshine before curfew starts.
I wish I could say the same, but I can't.
So tell everyone where you are right now.
Right now I'm in Orlando, Florida. I'm home. This is my hometown. It's a little town called Lake Nona, where I am.
Nice. Uh, so if you could put one word into how you're feeling today, what would that word be?
Okay. Honestly, because it's such a roller coaster every single day, I feel for me.
Yes.
Today, just ignited.
Mm,
Ignited for
yeah.
sure. It
Yeah.
was Memorial today for George
A
Floyd.
lot. Yeah. Yes.
Even just sitting down and watching his funeral ceremony, I felt all the degrees of my different emotions. It was
Hmm.
so definitely ignited today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, I feel like, there's been so much going on, and with everything, like the recent events and also being quarantined,
Right.
um, like the past couple of days have made me hopeful.
Mm-hmm.
Having a conversation with you the other day to talk, just go over some points about our conversation and just kind of catching up. And then being able to, work with a brand that is an ally, and to be able to donate to Black Lives Matter, and to have that, it's just kind of like, it's just some good news. And sometimes you just need some good news, you know?
Totally agree. Just seeing
Um,
numbers is definitely making
yes,
things better in a sense for me.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So how, like, when everything kind of broke off, and started happening, um, what was your initial response to everything?
I didn't actually think I would even voice a lot of things on my social media.
Hmm.
Getting word of everything happening, I was really silent to myself even. I
Yeah.
didn't I honestly didn't know how to feel and how to process what I was feeling. It was just a sense of
Yeah.
disappointment, anger, hurt. It was everything all in one, but it was just in a way that just hit me and made it real for me and made it real that we're in 2020 and I am 20 years old and this is the reality of the situation,
Hmm.
the life I'm supposed to be living in. So
Yeah.
I was on pause as soon as it happened.
Yeah. It took me a minute, and because I was in my core coma, Like I was just kind of still dealing with my quarantine issues and feelings and
Yeah,
craziness. And then when everything started like really hitting the fan, um, and I had to like I didn't know how to put it into words, and also like running play out social media, like I couldn't even come up with a caption for like just a regular picture, let alone like how do I express my feelings about my people being murdered, like um,
I didn't know. I didn't know what was going to happen. Honestly, I had no
yeah.
what was even what was actually happening. I felt like I was in since I was in quarantine. I felt like I was in such a bubble, and I was
Hmm.
just getting updates from the wrong side of the media. You know,
Yeah.
so that was my issue in the beginning.
Yeah. And then when you finally was able to put it into words, like why was that so important to you to kind of like,
I realized how much of a voice I do have.
mm,
All along, my whole life, I knew I had a voice in me to speak out for what's right. I've been doing it. I've done it since high school. I've done it
yeah,
in the college I attend at the moment. But this time, I was like, this is a revolution. This is something
mm,
that's going to change the course of our country for forever. I
yeah,
have a platform where I could use my numbers to my advantage. Even though it's not millions, like, some influencers have millions and they're still not saying anything. I feel like I can use thousands to my advantage. If I touch even 100 of those thousand with what I have to say and I advance
hmm,
about something, that's change right there. It just action speaks so much louder than words for me. So
yeah,
so it just told me, how important it is to use my voice.
yeah. And I think it kind of shook me a little bit because, sometimes we get so numb because it happens every single day that it just becomes like just another name. And so it just kind of shook me that this can't go on. And it took me some time to kind of really, really realize that I was angry
hmm
and
It
that I was not in a good place.
it was the
Um,
that we are usually just a name, but this time
yeah,
we're not gonna be silent about it.
yeah, no,
To think that we're coming together now and
hmm,
not more.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, so what is kind of your so you've done your the video that you did with Play Out, and you've done some other videos that you have on your page. I do advise you to go and check them out. Um, And you have, can you talk a little bit about your experience with discrimination and like and what you've kind of gone through?
hmm where do I start? Honestly, okay, so I'm when I say I'm from Florida, I'm from Florida since the sixth grade. Before that,
Mm,
my family was moving around because of military. Um, at one point, though, I lived in Panama City, Florida, and I also lived in Edmond, Oklahoma. Um, and I didn't realize it at the time. I don't think as much as I do now. But I was surrounded by so many racists in elementary school that didn't even want to sit next to me in the classroom. And I took it
mm,
because I didn't know any better. I just took it I thought I was weird. I thought I was just that kid that was different and only, you know,
hmm,
fit in with this group of people, but it was not that at all.
yeah.
And then it got even worse in high school. I had gotten deliberate attacks on social
Oh
media.
wow.
I think I got a deliberate attack and I've gotten called the N word once every school year in high school.
Oh,
Um, the,
excuse
the
me.
most time I was discriminated against, well, I'm called the N word almost every day now. On certain social medias. But I this was maybe back in February or March. Um, I was in New York, and some students at my previous high school decided to go on social media and, for no reason, publicly post that I am a N word for and made a bunch of
Wow.
really crude remarks towards Black people along with that. And I actually I took it into my own hands and I got the kid kicked out of school. because
Good for you.
I was finally an adult and I was finally able to use the voice that I know I have, you know?
Hmm.
Well, I would just you have you get complacent and you just sit there and you try to tell yourself you're stronger than them, you're stronger than what they have to say.
Yeah.
But as an adult, it hits different. It hits different to know that this is my life. Like this is my life. I'm an adult now and forever. So
Hmm.
I stand for you doing this. And for what? What were you doing it for?
Yeah.
Why should you use
But they're
anger?
doing it because they could, because they feel like they can just say anything and do anything with not get it.
Truly. But
Yeah.
this year, 2020, definitely has been the year for me where I've been trying to make a difference the entire year, as much as I can, at least.
Yeah. I remember when I was like a teenager, um, and I wasn't much taller than I am now. and and I remember we were at Great Adventure,
Hmm.
and I like like you're walking, you're not really paying attention.
Yeah.
I was like a kid, like, and I bumped into this woman, and I remember her husband running up to me because he thought I was trying to take her back,
Oh my God.
and he was like screaming at me, and I had to be like maybe like 14,
Hmm.
and I didn't know how to process. Like I was like in shock, so much in shock.
Right.
And like you said, like I was a little kid, like I didn't know what to do. And here's this like big, guy like towering over me and like screaming in my face,
Hmm.
and like
I
walked away.
When I was a kid, I think this was in Panama City, Florida. I was
Hmm.
riding bikes with my neighborhood friends, I thought. Um,
Mm.
Till their parents came out and said they didn't want their kids riding with black people. Uh, I went inside and I remember telling my mom this, and I don't actually remember what happened after. I don't even know how that even happened, but I was maybe like
Hmm.
7. I was maybe only like 6 or 7 years old. So
Yeah,
I guess it's been happening longer than I thought it's been happening directly to my face.
yeah,
Why it doesn't hit me sometimes, but
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I mean, your video with your brother was so touching. I have two adorable nephews that I miss, and have you been able to? I mean, he was there and listening to you while you were speaking. But what was the conversation like? Did you have a conversation with him?
I did. In that moment, because I wanted to ask him if he even knew what I was talking about, because I brought
Mm,
out wanting to have anything planned. I don't like to plan these types of things where I need to, it was supposed to be for him and for
yeah.
people seeing that why I do what I do. Um, I After I ended the video, I sat down and I just tried to have a little conversation about what's happening and what Black Lives Matter is with him. And he told me he didn't know what it was. Obviously,
Hmm.
but I tried to do what I could to put it into simple terms for him. And once I
Hmm.
told him about the simple terms of what our hopeful outcome is, he definitely got the message. Gave me a little hug, and it was
Oh,
one of those moments.
yeah. I mean, and I mean, it sucks that you have to have that kind of conversation, but it's like he has something that will stick with him
Yeah,
for a long time because I don't think I ever had that conversation with my
I,
brother or with anybody.
I'm the oldest, so that's why now that I am an adult, I just have that sense of I'm gonna fight for my siblings and their future, not just
Yeah.
it's not just about me. I'm not doing this for me. It's a huge picture, and people don't understand that sometimes. So
Hmm. I hear you. Um, I'm trying to remember, and you might have to help me because I haven't I looked at the list that we came up with. So if I get off a little bit off, let me know if I missed something. Please remind me.
um, do we want to talk about steps that people can take while they're in quarantine? I feel
Absolutely. Yes.
uh, on my own personal page, I touched on this very briefly because we only have 60 seconds in the video, so it's kind of quick.
Yes.
So I tried to be good with that. I think I got the point across, but I want to harp on the fact that I'm in quarantine right now and I'm not able to go anywhere. I'm stuck in Florida
Hmm.
of being in New York City, and there's a law where I have to be in quarantine for 14 days. So I'm actively missing out on protests every single day, and it breaks my heart, but I can't just sit here and say, oh, well, I can't go protest and not do anything about it.
Hmm.
The people that are doing that are adding more harm to what we're trying to say and what we're for by not using
Yeah.
privilege
Yeah.
in their house. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Have the privilege to stay safe in your house and not be at the front of a huge line of police officers. Use your
Hmm.
power because they can't sometimes. Sometimes they have to stand. They can't say anything. Sometimes they have to be silent.
Hmm.
We can
Yeah.
use our computers. We can use anything. You know what I mean? So that's what I want people to realize. You can watch movies, you can read books, you can watch documentaries, you can go on the news, you can go on Twitter. Twitter is a huge source of where I get a lot of my information from because
Hmm.
I realize a lot of the mainstream media is very skewed sometimes.
Yes.
And I remember telling you this, public. I was watching CNN one 2 nights ago. A reporter was talking about how peaceful the Minneapolis protests were starting to get. But as soon as he said the word peaceful and was beginning to talk about that narrative, they cut him off and they cut his mic off and they switched to the white reporter. And the white reporter was like, oh, guess we lost him. It was to see.
Yeah.
Well, I highly encourage you to stop watching just mainstream news because that might not be the most beneficial. But I also talked about in my video how you can visit websites such as blacklivesmatters.card.co, blacklivesmatters.com, multiple news outlets online, and there's plenty of petitions you can sign, plenty of numbers you can text and call to try to help make a difference, try to help make a change, demand that actions be taken for certain police officers involved in the killings of our people. There are Black businesses you can donate to. Huge, huge steps. Um, Actually, today, New York Magazine released an article titled 77 Black-owned businesses to support right now, and I highly encourage all of you to check it.
Hmm.
It's a very, very good read. Just just educating yourselves while you have the time and
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
so scary. How could you not? What else are you doing? What else?
Exactly.
What
Exactly.
Twitter to look at, quotes and people that are going to the beach. That's my problem with social media is that a lot of people are just coming on their social media to not say anything and to
Hmm.
not even try. They're acting like
Yeah.
it even exist, and that hurts you,
Yeah.
I think.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think one of the simple things, and you and I talked about this, one of the simple things is just like, just reach out to your black and brown friends. Like, just reach out, check out. Just like that's such a small thing to do that you can just say, hey, how are you? Like, are you okay? Like, I know this is a lot going on.
Right.
I received a lot of, lovely messages from people, and it really did help. It really did help to be able to talk to someone.
Every
And yeah, and to just check in, and that's a simple act that doesn't require much.
mhm. the
And just to show that you care and that you're with them.
right.
Like that's it. If you can't do one thing, if you don't want to do a post about it, like just check in on people.
And on the latter of that, I have had a number of people that I have unfollowed, I have blocked,
Yes.
have followed me, have called me out on social media because they don't like that I'm speaking so loudly for my people. It is ridiculous
Yeah.
to me how I have groups of friends that are so loving and caring. Even there, I've had maybe 20 people in the past day reach out to me because they're uneducated about what's happening, but in a way of wanting to learn about what's happening. They're coming to me and asking. That is so. I appreciate that so much because I will
Yeah.
take time and try to help as much as I can. Then on the
Yeah.
opposite side of that, there are people that are texting me as if I want to make plans with them to go out, to go to a party, to go to an event. It's insane
It's
how
insane.
people can just ignore what is happening.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's like the world. Kind of insane.
uh, like thank God, like I haven't, I've done my, purge, my friends purge before, but like thank God, because I don't think I would know what to like. How do you respond to that? Like, like,
I do not. I simply do not.
yeah,
Simply do not. Because if you cannot tell if all I am posting about right now is Black Lives Matters, then you
yeah,
need to get off the page. You don't get the message. There's been
yeah,
plenty for you to use my resources or use other people's resources. There are millions and millions of people that are posting about this, you know?
yeah, yeah. No, definitely, and I think just to let folks know that you should definitely visit Playout's Instagram, because we've been posting a bunch of resources at Playout NYC, and then also check Brendan's Brendan A. Morris on Instagram for things that he's been doing as well.
Yeah.
Um, next,
Um, okay, so
yes,
we kind of talked about the idea of incorporating questions into this conversation. So
yes, yes,
I'm not sure how we want to go about that.
yeah. If anyone has a question for Brendan or myself, please write in the comments, and we'll read them and answer them. We'll open up to that.
I also have I got a few questions in my DMs. Am I able to
Okay.
talk about those since this is going to be saved? I might as well.
Mm-hmm.
I can just log in right now. Okay. Oh, this was a huge question that I get almost every day. People ask, if we're using the hashtag Black Lives Matter, does that mean that all lives don't matter? White lives don't as much?
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
I want to say that is not true whatsoever. Black Lives Matter has never stood for that. Black Lives Matter has
Mm-hmm.
never once said that all other lives do not matter. We want to matter just as much. We want to be equal. That is the point of why we're saying Black Lives Matter, because
Yeah.
we're equal too, which is why we have to emphasize black. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I want to make that clear because I know I will be posting this because the people that ask those questions, this will be helping them.
Yes. The funny thing is that before moving back to New York, I was living in Toronto, and the chapter of Black Lives Matter in Toronto. They disrupted Pride, and they didn't want the cops there. They were like protesting, and it wasn't very clear about what it was that they like, what the demands were or anything like that. And like people were furious. Like they were so upset. Like how dare they do this? Like this is not the time and the place. Like Pride is all about celebration
Mm,
and all this stuff. So then finally it was released in the newspaper, and they were talking about what it is that they wanted, like what the demands were. And the cops was something that they wanted because they felt like if cops are not going to protect, like don't support us, then they shouldn't be at Pride.
right.
But the other demands were being sensitive and making sure that Indigenous people and Asians and other people of color were represented, and that it wasn't this kind of like cisgender gay white male.
Mm,
Um, and so, and that's where it really upset me that, and most of the people were white. It really upset me that they were so upset that these, black Torontonians were protesting,
right. That's
you
all
know,
they
and that's all they see, right?
right. But
And so, and they didn't even like, didn't even try to think about what it was or listen to what it was that they were trying to say or what their message was. They only saw as like, you disrupted my pride.
exactly. What I found by researching and by my own community is that a lot of people supporting Black Lives Matter don't even support the LGBTQ plus community. And I
Yes.
can't support Black Lives Matter if you do not support the LGBTQ
Yeah.
plus Black people.
Yeah.
It's
You can't pick and choose.
it doesn't line up. Not allowed to.
Yeah.
You're not allowed.
Yeah.
Black Lives Matter, but only if they're cis and they're straight. That is
Yes.
disgusting. That doesn't even make any sense. You know?
Yes. And that's, I mean, that's one of the things too, when it becomes like, a lot of the, our agenda is based off of cis gay older white men. And so it's like, how do we all be like we're inclusive when we're not really inclusive, ourselves as a community? And we have our own issues around race. And so, we can't be saying, no facts, no femmes, no Asians and things like that and thinking that, oh, but we're so inclusive. Like it doesn't work that way. Like we need to do better ourselves.
Completely agreed.
Um, but like you said, you can't support Black Lives Matter and not support.
There's just no, no,
There's no way.
no.
Like there's no way.
I will
Because
never.
now because we can't pick and choose. Like you can't pick and choose.
Cannot. Mm. That the fact that I've visibly with my own eyes seen people post homophobic tweets, but still using the Black Pride fist in the profile picture is
Yeah,
it's so unbalanced and it's doing the total opposite of what it's supposed to be doing because it's
I,
not
I exactly.
what our community is about at all.
Yeah,
And the
I
people
can't.
joining our movement for clout or for some type of, entertainment, as
We
if
see you.
it's narrative is supposed to be something that like we're supposed to applaud you for finally speaking up about. We don't need
Yeah,
to applaud you. We should have already been here. We should
yeah, absolutely.
hire time. We've always been speaking about our lives, you know?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think that that's one of the things too. Um, you know, that to see that there's some brands that are saying that they're down for the cause, but
Hmm.
they're not really down for the cause. And like you can put out this like very vague statement, but tell us who you donating to. Like,
Exactly.
what are you doing?
Why,
Like,
also, why are you
we,
on our pictures, boosting us up? If you didn't use
we
this,
stand with you.
yeah, didn't use this,
Like,
didn't use this,
yeah,
you got on your own. Ah,
yeah, absolutely. Exactly. One person posted something, and I found this very funny. There was a modeling agency that posted something about Black Lives Matter, and then they went to the modeling agency's website, and there was no Black people on their board.
because now it's trending. Now we're finally
Yeah,
trending before. That's the thing. That's why we were never this
yeah,
up. We were never given this platform before. Now that we are, people want to jump on with us because they want the attention with us. They don't
yeah,
want their business to go down. They don't want their names to go down just because they are actually racist and they don't actually support us. But we see,
exactly.
they know. I don't know if they don't. Do they not know that we can see through it?
That
Like,
we can see that. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And especially at a time when, there's so many businesses that are affected because of the quarantine and because of, the pandemic. And so, there's a lot of jobs and a lot, people's lost their jobs and a lot of companies are not going to be able to come back
right,
just like that. And so why are you not using this time to really get your shit together, people?
right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you can just do simple little things saying and really feeling like, okay, we need to act
Mm-hmm.
and we need to do something.
Mm-hmm.
Let's change our original position and actually like join this
Right. I remember you.
because we're gonna see that you did nothing
Right.
and you won't be supported.
I remember you asking me on the phone if I thought that a lot of this had to do with the fact that we are in quarantine.
Yes, yes,
And I totally do think it is because we're going
yeah,
all we're isolated for so long. We had to
yes,
think, we had this time to plan, we had this time to really be with ourselves and think about what we want for now. Um,
hmm,
but there's a beautiful thing about that in a way, even though the times are devastating. We're in an actual pandemic and we can't forget about
yeah,
it at all. We can't. When I go to protest, because I'm out of quarantine on Sunday, I'm going to protest with my mask on at all times. We can't forget
hmm,
still. But there's just been something so beautiful about us all coming together in a time where we are all so alone and we all feel so isolated, you know?
yeah, absolutely. And I think that definitely fueled because we already had that angst. Like people were just kind of getting over it, being quarantined. So I think definitely I could see why, how that kind of fueled some of this kind of like we have to like this revolution.
That,
But also at the same time, when you think about like how long the cop had his knee on, George Floyd, like I mean, it's just kind of like for that, that really put things in, like when I found out when they released like the how long, like that just put a lot of things, that just made me even more angry because I was like, really, 8 minutes and 46 seconds, like really?
Wow. Wow. Imagine how long that is.
Yes.
I just I can't fathom the fact that that was really necessary for them. They really felt
Yeah,
do that for that long. That's almost
for
10.
that long. Yes.
That broke
And
my
a minute, that broke my heart. Um, and to have him there screaming for help for all that long of a time,
heart. And there
is just
were not one but four different cops there,
four different yes, and
laughing,
not one of them did one thing.
laughing, smiling, instigating, watching, being a part of it. It's good that justice is starting to be served to them finally after
Yes, yes,
wanting
yes,
to them. But I don't think this is a stopping point. Some people think that just because justice is being served to those four officers, it means, okay, guys, we did it. We can take a seat.
yeah. No, no, we still got work. We got a lot of work to do.
That's what I'm saying. We don't go
It
any.
doesn't end here. It doesn't end here.
People don't realize.
I mean, but I mean, there have been, other Black lives taken during this time,
Hmm?
which is really sad because it's kind of like, really?
Exactly. But the fact that
So, we have to continue to speak up and speak out and to protest because if not,
I agree.
what's going to happen? Like, we can't continue.
We can totally be peaceful about it. My
Absolutely.
city has been nothing but peaceful. Orlando's protests have actually been 100% peaceful for the like
Hmm.
for their initial go. It's been 100% peaceful, and it is so inspiring to see that in my own town. Um,
Yeah.
Shows that yeah, we can be so loud because that is necessary too. Don't get me wrong, but the fact
Yeah.
that be peaceful and you can't say anything about it. You can't try to instigate us into violence anymore. You
Yes.
can't switch it up. Is showing
Yes.
we are really making change right now, and it's amazing.
And there's nothing more beautiful and there's nothing more amazing when Black people are together. Like there's nothing more beautiful than that.
I
And I feel like we it's in our DNA, it's in our blood, it's who we are. You know what I'm saying? Like we, this is we're just fierce in that way. Like we can't. So I think that it's there's been so many leaders and so many movements that come out, and so it's a really beautiful thing to see. There were some videos where people were posting of people dancing
mhm.
during the protests, and you're just kind of like, that's my people. Like that's my people. It's just like it just makes you feel good, you know?
Ways, all different ways.
Yeah.
Not one.
And so so things like that makes it really warms my heart, and it makes me feel like we're finally at a point where we realize and we're ready.
Thing. I completely agree.
Oh, I love you. Oh.
I'm because this entire time has just shown me so much how much I there's like a fire inside me. I can't even make it up. There's like
Yeah,
I wake up actually. I say I wake up, but do I go to sleep? No, I haven't
yeah, yeah,
this entire week maybe. Uh,
yeah,
but I'm quarantined. I feel a little guilty sometimes that I'm not out protesting. I'm not out,
yeah,
but I just can't help but just have this fire burning and know that people are out there reaching for me and reaching with me, wanting me to be with them, and hearing me that I'm still with them from the sidelines. It's just amazing.
yeah,
It.
yeah. No, I mean, I think this whole thing has really affected like my sleep. Like I'm hungry, but then I don't eat. like or just like the food. I'm just kind of like, man, I'm fine. Like I'm just
Oh, I don't know how to describe it, but you know what you know.
yeah,
We know.
yeah. So I'm feeling all of these things, and so I'm just kind of like, what's going on? So I'm kind of like trying to on a
But
daily basis trying to figure it out.
we're allowed to process. That's
Yeah,
understand. I spoke about this on TikTok, which is my biggest platform right now during all of this. I made a video yesterday. I was trying to tell people that people don't understand that Black people are allowed to be soft spoken and sensitive,
yes, preach.
right? We
Yeah.
always be yelling all
Yeah.
the
We're not always angry.
right. We don't
Yeah.
do that. So let's
Yeah.
our things in different ways. And the people that aren't posting, our black people that are not posting right now, are allowed to do that. I am fully
Yes.
with them.
Absolutely.
You know, like if you are black and you can't come up with the words to say about your own people, you are okay for the moment. Eventually, push,
Yeah.
but we're not going to rush you. This is for our people.
Absolutely. 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 I 100% agree because there's so much going on, and whatever people's situation is, whether there's financial issues or there's kids or there's a lot of things going on in their lives, um, I get it. I get it. And so it's a lot to process, and hopefully they have the community around them to be able to help them kind of process that. But if they don't, definitely find it, and also it's okay. But it's okay. Like it's okay. We
Completely
still feel you. Like we're still in this together. Like we're still gonna fight for you,
right.
and speak as loud as we can for you. So and again, it doesn't mean that you have to like feel like, oh, I'm a bad black person.
Right. Right. 100%.
Yeah,
Oof. Yeah,
got me feeling things.
I just hear anything come out of my mouth. I'm just like, whoa, like I
Yeah,
cannot wait to be out on the front lines of these protests. I cannot.
yeah.
This is
Uh,
so crazy.
when do you think you will come back to New York?
I think my plan is to come back to New York in sometime in July, either the
Hmm.
July, so in about a month, I would say.
Okay.
No less than a month. I don't really see that for me because there's not much there for me right now at all, really. You know,
Yeah.
there's nothing but continuing to be on lockdown up there
Yes.
and the possibility of only being on curfew. I'm going to use this to my advantage of not having curfew every night here, at least for these protests.
Yeah.
For now.
Yeah.
That way I can stay out as long as possible because I do not care. Like I said, like we both just said, food can wait sometimes. Sleep can.
Yeah.
That's how passionate we are about this, and
Yeah.
that's what's gonna make change.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that like um, it's one of those things where it's really hard sometimes where you just kind of like where you feel like you're alone, or you feel like, especially during this quarantine madness, or you just kind of feel like you're in your feelings. And I think
Hmm.
when we had to shift a little bit about from what we were going to be talking about during Pride, and we had to shift, and I was just kind of like, okay, you're going to go live, and who am I going to talk with? Well, how are we going to make this happen? But it definitely has to happen. And so, um, and then I just remembered the videos and just kind of working with you. And so I was like, it just kind of made sense.
Thank you. Thankful. Thank you. For real.
Yeah. And so I'm so happy that we got to chat and to talk and to
Too.
and continue this conversation, because I think this is just one of many that needs to happen.
Thank you. This
You
is it.
know?
But
Yeah, absolutely. Is there anything else that you would like to share, or final thoughts or anything like that?
I just really want whoever is going to end up watching this, or whoever's watching right now, to know that um, Black Lives Matter is not just hashtag, and it's not just something.
Mm,
It's not just something for a name. It's not just something for attention. It is something that means our lives matter, and our lives are literally on the line. I want you to think about this. Imagine I walk out, I want to check the mail. There is a police, and he interrogates me for doing absolutely nothing, and I get shot
yeah,
and fight for me.
yeah,
That's all.
exactly. My thing is accountability. Like, I just want people to be held accountable for their shit.
Exactly.
Like, yes,
Oof.
yes, Vi, it's not a trend. Like, this is not a trend. It's not. And so it's like, I just want people to be held accountable. And if we need to, you know, boycott, if we need to
We
cut
will.
people off, then we got to do it. And this is not just friends.
Right.
It's, brands. It's, it's everyone. Like, we have to hold people accountable, because if we don't do it, you know, we see how, like, within the gay community, you know, there's so many brands and corporate sponsors, and once they're done with us. They're like, okay, you homos, bye. See you later next year.
Right.
So, you know, I just want people to be held accountable, and I want people to, and it's up to us to do that, because we can't come this far to just drop the ball.
Right.
Because then what do we do? You know, we can't just kind of disrupt everything and then be like, okay, I'm done. Like,
Right.
life is back to normal.
Yeah. But
We can't get complacent. Like, we have to hold people accountable, and really, and continue this, and figure out the ways that we can still be active.
completely.
So thank you so much for doing this. I heart you so much, and we will continue to chat and to talk, and we can't wait to put you in some underwear when you when you get back to New York.
Love it.
Please, 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 please. I couldn't hear you.
Playout's underwear is so comfortable, not gonna lie.
Yes. Please, please, please support Brendan. Go to Brendan A. Morris on Instagram, and support him. Show him some love. He's an amazing artist and person and human, and so please do that. Thank you guys for all joining us and joining this chat. And I'm so happy that we got to do this.
Me too.
Love you too, Ashley. Bye. See you later.
You.
Talk soon.
Bye. Please do.
Bye.